Hey, what up, YouTube? It's your boy MOG. You know what frustrates me? I'll be honest with you. What frustrates me is dealing with going to the bank, believe it or not. Because I got a bank account. I don't want to call a name. But I've been banking with these people for decades, actually. But it's just a pain to have to kind of go to the bank to get something done. I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I kind of prefer to go to the bank, but I would kind of like more of an option to not have to actually go to the branch all the time. And to be honest, the main thing that gets me with the bank that I've been banking with for decades is the fact that I get charged so many fees in addition to just having my money in the bank. And that's the crazy part, because the bank makes money from keeping my money, but I don't hardly get any interest on my money, if that makes sense. And on top of not really getting very much interest to leave money in a savings account, that's why I decided to take all of my money out of my savings account, because I found out that you can do something more in regards to having it online as a savings account, because you get paid, man, probably 5 times more interest just to have what's known as a high yield savings account. So I say all of that to say this. I don't really like how my bank operates as far as the fees that's involved. These cats will charge you money for them to keep your money in a savings account. Let that sink in. They're gonna charge me money to use my money and loan it out to other people and pay them much more than what I'm getting as far as them using my money. Or let me rephrase that, not pay them much more than I'm getting, but they will loan my money out to someone else that's in my savings account. They'll loan it out to another individual and charge that individual based on his or her credit score. So in reference to what I'm saying, it's kind of messed up, because they'll only give me a 0.5%, maybe 1% interest at the most for letting me having my money in their savings account. But then they'll take my money, which is in their savings account, and loan it to somebody else, and they'll receive interest back on my money. That's mine, based on somebody else's credit score. So let's say, for instance, you got a credit score and your credit score happens to be kind of low. The interest that you'll pay on the loan, which is going to be my money, or if you have a savings account at a bank, it'll be your money. The interest that you're going to pay back and your payment is going to be based on your credit score. So if they take my little $1,000 and loan it to another individual, he or she will pay back interest to the bank, not you, not me, but back to the bank for using that money based on their credit score. Now, once again, I'm only getting a 0.5%, maybe close to 1% at the absolute highest if I were to leave that money in a savings account. But then if they loan it to somebody who has bad or below average credit, then they'll receive a payment that they got to pay back, and their interest might be 9, 10%, 11, 12% based on their credit score. So I'm like, wait a minute, this don't make no sense. So if I leave money in a savings account, you pay me a 0.5% interest, but then said money of mine, you loan it to somebody else, and you get 10, 12% back as far as the bank gets that profit back. At the same time that they ripping me off, you gonna loan my money out of my account to somebody else with below average credit, and you make 20 times what I would make by letting you do that with my money? I bet I won't. So I closed the savings account. So then that left me thinking, the way that the banking industry is set up and the way that it works, it's outdated and it's old. The whole infrastructure of the way banks work is old. So I started to look around in the stock market, and I came across a company which now has been given the credentials to be considered a bank, fully accredited bank. And the name of that company that I'm very close to trying to invest in, and I've talked about this in the past on another channel that I had, but nobody won't listen. Now, I guess I give you a second chance. The name of the company that I'm referring to that I think can actually make you or your kids possibly millionaires is SoFi, ticker symbol SOFI, SoFi. Now, SoFi has been doing their thing here in the past recent number of years. Revenue is up year over year. Earnings per share is up year over year. And for the past 5 years, they've been growing like a weed. Because what I notice about SoFi is that it seems to be more of a bank for the younger generation. And one thing I know about these young people, man, they're a mess. But these young people are ushering in a whole new age of banking. And they seem to be gravitating towards banks like SoFi. And I think that's why SoFi has been growing like they have been growing. It's because the younger generation seems to be flocking to banks that operate like SoFi. So SoFi is a banking app, and everything is basically online. It's like a one-stop shop for everything that's banking related, borrowing money related, investing related, anything from checking account, savings account. Also, you can refinance and do loans, borrow money. I mean, they even got crypto available on SoFi's platform. So what I decided to do, I already had an account, but I'll be honest with you, I had kind of forgotten about the account in recent, months. And I just went last night and I decided to kind of, input a little bit of money into the SoFi account and decided to purchase only a handful of high yield ETFs that I like so much. One that's involved with NVIDIA. Might make a video about that, because those things paying so much money on a monthly basis. So I decided to use SoFi just for that reason. Put a little bit of money in there and just use it basically as a small, and I do mean small, savings account with only probably a few $100s in it. And I want to leave that money there at least a year or two so I can kind of see what kind of growth that I get. Because I did the same thing to another online trading account that I have, where I can purchase stocks, fractional shares. As far as crypto, I can purchase crypto as well. And that thing has been growing. And that's once again on another online app for trading and for investing called M1 Finance. Maybe I need to do a video on that too. Seems like a whole lot of videos is kind of in the back pocket. But SoFi, I wrote this down, make sure I didn't forget it. Right now, SoFi stock is trading right around $14.50 to $15 per share. Now, to be honest with you, right now, I believe that SoFi's price is a little bit overvalued, because this thing has ran up, over 100% for the year. Stock appreciation. If you had bought it when I said buy it years ago, y'all might be rich by now. But won't nobody listen, except for maybe 2 or 3 of y'all. Hopefully those 2 or 3 made a lot of money. A lot of times I, get text messages and, you know, people make little comments about the money that they have made that a lot of other people slept on, because a lot of people don't get these videos. I need YouTube to change that, man. YouTube, if you listen, I need you to change that, man, and send these videos out to more people. And by the way, if you're still here, I hope you find some kind of value in this content. So I ask that you hit the subscribe button, hit a like on the video, turn on your notifications. That way when the next diamond in the rough comes out, your boy MOG got you, because you'll be alerted as to when and where this video, the new one, will be available. Check it out, man. I'm not a stock expert by no stretch of the imagination, but your boy do know some things. I see some things that you can benefit from. Number one, SoFi. Like I said, I'm looking to purchase shares in SoFi. If I can get some down around $12, I'll start nibbling. But if it go down to anywhere around $10 a share or under, oh my goodness, I'm all in. I'm in it, because I'm looking at the future, not necessarily for me. I like SoFi, I really do, but I'm kind of old-fashioned. You know, I complain about the bank and all, but I kind of would still rather go into the bank. So I'm kind of old-fashioned, but I'm thinking about my kids. Got 2 sons in their early 20s. Something like SoFi, you know, maybe I'll leave them 100 shares a piece or so, because I think by the time they get to be my age, SoFi gonna be a banger. Right now, it's trading around $15. As of today, this is, I don't know what the date is, 23rd, something like that. Anyway, this is the end of January 2025. You can look up the date. Y'all ain't doing nothing. You can look up the date yourself. But it's the end of January 2025. And I will go as far as to say that within 2 years, this will probably be a $25 to $30 per share stock. Because, bro, they growing. Charles, they growing, man. They growing, man. Just check it out. That's all I got to say about it. But my next banger that could possibly make you or your kids millionaires goes by the name of Palantir. Ticker symbol PLTR. Palantir. Now, Palantir is like one of my favorite AI stocks. Now, for those that don't know, AI, artificial intelligence, is everywhere right now. And I'm starting to see more and more videos about artificial intelligence. And I've seen some crazy things, man. That AI is off the hook like a fish flopping on a pier. It's off the hook, man, what they're doing with this AI stuff. Kind of make me think about that old movie that Will Smith had called, what is it, iRobot or something like that? That's kind of where we heading, man. That was a movie, 20 years ago, if not more? But, man, that AI stuff is off the chain. So Palantir is actually involved a lot in cyber security, believe it or not. Palantir was actually responsible for finding Osama bin Laden back in the day, the terrorist, because Palantir deals with software updates that can be used for counter-terrorism. I didn't even really know that, because I looked at Palantir kind of differently. I didn't know they was involved with anti-terrorism type stuff, and I mean, I knew the other parts of the business, but I was like, wow. So Palantir is a low-key cyber security stock, along with a stock that's good at streamlining businesses. Palantir works with businesses. They actually working with the CIA and the FBI, government contracts. And Palantir is growing just like SoFi is growing. It's amazing, man. Because it's weird, because I made a video about I want to say it was under $5 a share. About 4 years ago. Might have been cheaper than that when I made that video. Nobody won't listen. I bought into Palantir, made some money off of it, got out of it, got back into Palantir here this year, actually. Got back into Palantir, and I want to say I got in at around like $20 or so. And I called myself getting into Palantir, early this year when I got in. I was trying to get in and start nibbling at Palantir and try to build up 100 shares. But Palantir's stock price started to take off. And I couldn't even get my 100 shares because the price was going up so fast and so much. I basically just stopped buying in my small Roth IRA account that I got set up. I basically stopped buying at 39 shares because I didn't want to buy at the top. Because I was like, man, I wanted to just start nibbling at this thing at around $20 or $18 or whatever my cost basis was. I don't forgot. And then the stock price went up over $100 a share. I got in and basically quintuple my money. I think that's quintuple. Whatever it is, 5 times my money. You can look it up. Y'all ain't doing that. Look up what quintuple is. That 4 or 5? Anyway, I basically multiplied my investment by like 5 times. So I didn't even get the 100 shares because once the price started taking off and went up to $30 and $40 and $50, I was like, nah, man, I ain't buying no 100 shares now because I don't know how far it's going to come back down. And when stocks come down, that's already starting to become overinflated and highly overvalued, they come down hard. Now, the last time I checked, Palantir was right around $100, between $97 and $100 per share as of the last day that I checked. But the bad part is the price had run up so much that when the market starts to correct, which the market started to correct last week, the end of last week, Thursday and Friday, stuff starts sliding in the stock market. And on this past Friday was the worst day that we've had as far as stocks going down in the market. So to be honest, I think Palantir is in for a heavy correction because stocks that are kind of overpriced and highly valued, they fall hard when the market corrects. Number one reason is because people that bought in, like myself, bought in at a much lower price than the current price now. When we see something we don't like, oh no, we snatching our money off the table, baby. I ain't gonna hold Palantir until I lose 60% of my profits. I ain't doing that. So we hold, man, until we see something that we don't really like. And what I started to see, especially on Friday, Thursday it started, but on Friday, oh man, the thing started slipping, boy. So I made a lot of money on Palantir. And to be honest, I'm not really trying to get that back, you know what I mean? So what I'm thinking of doing, this is no financial advice. This is just what I'm thinking about doing. You do your own due diligence. You do your own research. You make your own decision. But what I'm thinking about doing is maybe selling out of Palantir, taking the huge profits that were made, waiting until Palantir stops falling in price and starts to form a base and a support level. Now, I looked at this thing before this video was being recorded, and the way that I see it, it's an absolute chance that Palantir could actually come down 40 to 45% in price. Right around now, it's about $97 and some change per share. But I was looking at the support levels. This thing could easily go down as low as $50 a share, and the absolute bottom could be right around $40 a share, all the way from where it is now at almost 100. So I'm thinking like, man, I couldn't get 100 shares when I first bought in, but now I might be able to get 100 shares of Palantir, depending on if it reaches $30, if it reaches that support level of $40, man, the truck will be backing up. So I'm thinking that maybe I'm gonna wait and see if this thing kind of comes back down, and I'm gonna do just like what I'm doing now. I'm gonna back the truck up and get me 100 shares of Palantir. No financial advice, but this is just what your boy doing. You can follow, or you can get left behind, dog. It's your boy MOG, Saved by Grace. I'm going home. Tired of working out. Leaving the gym. Peace. I'ma holler at you later, man.